The British people won't trust a party that isn't serious with their money. And that's why they vote Conservative.
£11.8 billion lost in fraud because of a total lack of respect for taxpayers' money.
We are always on the side of the British people. I want people to know that the government is on their side during what we know is a challenging time. We're helping where we can.
We inherited a bunch of formulas from the Labour Party that shoved all the funding into deprived urban areas. Then that needed to be undone. I started the work of undoing that.
There is a risk that some in our country might be set so far back they might never recover.
You have a millionaire's lifestyle, and some people are saying, actually, you are out of touch with the truth of how this is going to hurt.
What I'd say to people is, judge me by my actions.
Yeah, is this all together?
Yeah, all together.
You want to scan them for me?
Yeah.
Oh, you want it? Yeah. Fingers over the back.
And tell them I was at Winchester, and one of my best friends is from Eton or whatever, and then they're like, oh, okay.
So I've always been a completely normal UK taxpayer. I had a green card because as a legacy of my time living and working in America. My wife and I have a Volkswagen Golf, and actually she's filled it up, as I was saying the other week, and it is going up. Of course we know it's going up, and that's why we took action yesterday to try and make a difference there. My wife has a strong point of view, but it's probably best not said.
Fuel duty going down 5 pence a litre. That only helps if you've got a car. A third of the population don't have access to a car. It just seems to add to the feeling that maybe you're not really in touch with the hard reality of lots of people's lives.
That your household finances did benefit or could benefit from the non-domicile status of your wife.
I think my wife has made her own statement about these matters.
The non-doms keeping their tax privileges while they increase taxes on working people. Young working people paying more, but those who earn money buying and selling stocks and shares not paying a penny more. Contracts handed out to Conservative friends and donors while British businesses miss out.
Protect working people, small businesses and public services.
So do you accept the income tax threshold freeze as a tax rise then?
And we'll take a step back.
Global tech giants making billions in profits, while smaller businesses and the energy-intensive industry struggle with higher bills and higher taxes from the Conservative Party.
You've got family links to Russia, that your wife apparently has a stake in the Indian IT consultancy firm Infosys. They operate in Moscow. They have an office there. They have a delivery office there. They've got a connection to the Alpha Bank in Moscow. Are you giving advice to others that you're not following in your own home?
I'm an elected politician and I'm here to talk to you about what I'm responsible for. My wife is not. There are certain things I fell back on. Yes, my family. Both Will Smith and me having our wives attacked, but at least I didn't get up and slap anybody, which is good.
Did you feel like it?
I grew up working in my mum's pharmacy.
No, we know all that.
My mum was a local chemist, my dad was a GP. My mum ran a chemist where I grew up. My dad was an NHS GP. My mum was a local chemist. She owned the local chemist in Southampton.
Someone of their background is so humble as you is why they didn't have working class friends, but let's move on. Useful for people.
Is it morally right for so much wealth in this country to be held by so few people?
Well, Justine, I'm sitting here with you talking about all of this, having this job as the result of so many people's kindness, hard work, sacrifice throughout my life. I didn't start like this.
I have friends who are aristocrats, I have friends who are upper class, I have friends who are, working class, but I'm not working class.
Rishi Sunak's choice of expensive footwear and even more expensive suits.
You've had to clarify your wife's non-dom status. You held permanent residency in the United States while you were setting the taxes of British voters, which is what a green card means. You're building a swimming pool at your constituency home while the public pool in Richmond is facing closure after a 400% energy hike. This has all led to a perception problem for you. People feel that you can't walk a mile in their shoes because you're walking in your Prada shoes. What would you say to them?
So, look, You know, over the past couple of weeks, right, I've been out and about across the country. We also need to stop, particularly urban mayors, trying to push development out to the Greenbelt in largely conservative areas. I will stop that from happening. Also, it's right that as we now get back to non-being... well, this is not the same situation as shutting down an entire economy. It clearly isn't.
But the tax burden on British workers is going up. There is no question over that. There's only something like 1 in 8 of us will ever sense that there is a fall in tax. The average household will be poorer by at least £3,000. I don't understand why you don't think that the biggest fall in living standards since the 1950s is an extraordinary circumstance.
I struggle to know whether to be happy or not with that. Taken together, this year and next, we're spending £407 billion.
It's not the state's money, it's your money. That hard work is something that should be rewarded. The best way to do that through the tax system is to reduce the rate of income tax.
But the income tax threshold freeze is a great tax rise. When are you going to be giving us new tax cuts? Do we have to wait for inflation to come down?
Well, first...
There are only good ideas and bad ideas, and whether you can do anything about them.
People can judge me how I've acted over the past couple of years.
I don't need £200. You don't need £200. Why are you and I going to get £200 when some people in this country can't afford to heat their own dinner?
I think it's right that everyone gets some support. We are determined to tackle them head on.
I was introduced to a farmer as the new William Hague. He looked quizzically at that point. and then said, "Ah yes, Hagee, good bloke, like him. Bit pale though, this one's got a better tan."
What a lot of your colleagues say to me, and I want to know if you agree with this, is that you turned up to a business meeting in a suit, had a cup of orange juice, as did Simon Case, and you ended up with a police fine. You've been really hard done by there, haven't you?
Look, I respect the decision that police have come to. I've apologised and I am really sorry for the hurt and the anger.
Did you not ask them why Simon Case didn't get a fine?
I respect the decision that they've come to. I'm sorry for that.
I would have been straight on the phone asking them.
Yeah, I'm a coke addict. Total coke addict. Coca-Cola addict. Yes, I was going to say, just for the record.
I have 7 fillings, and that's because I drank an enormous amount of Coke when I was a youngster.
I am a big Star Wars fan. Yeah, there's only so much Star Wars you can watch.
I know people always like to take the mick out of me for my Peloton that I use, but the reason I have to use this Peloton is because I'm constantly eating either, cookies or cake.
20 minutes Peloton, 5 cookies, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, if that's the ratio, that's good. I can eat more cookies then. I thought it was worse than that, but good.